And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to the Fortune Theories live stream. The fellas are in the house. Harry, Fabian, Mr. Jalapeno Elias. What's up, fellas?
Yo.
What's up?
I'm vibing, bro.
Yeah, that's what it's all about today. We have a very, very exciting live stream for you. We are going to cover. Now, I'm sure if you're watching this, you haven't been living under a rock. Phase 4 is over. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special ended Phase 4 officially. So we're going to break it all down. Phase 4 tournament. We have 16 shows, movies combined. We've omitted the Groot special and the Guardian special because #filler. We have a very, very exciting hour. Who knows? Maybe it'll be 3 hours. Stick with us. Enjoy it. But, guys, real quick, what's the best thing you watched this week?
Oh, let me start us off. If you got Showtime, you got to get into American Gigolo with the boy, the Punisher, John Bernthal. It's a good one, bro. It's good. And I would suggest to watch it without the wives, or else you may become unwived real quick.
I actually watched a few episodes of Altered Carbon on Netflix.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, it's good. Different, but good.
I recently watched Bullet Train. It's the ensemble cast with Brad Pitt. I think it's based off of an old novel, something like that. It's a really good movie. It's a little slow at some parts, but otherwise it's a very good story. A lot of plot twists. Very enjoyable. It's on Netflix right now.
Dude, how was Aaron Taylor Johnson in that?
He was brilliant, actually.
Yeah?
A really good actor.
I love that.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, that was he killed that.
He was the standout for me. He was probably like the best part of the movie, to me at least.
I thought so. I haven't seen it yet. My family saw it and they were talking about it, so I'm late to the game on that. But Harry, what'd you watch?
Like I said, I watched Trolls. That was all right. Or Troll, and then I watched Altered Carbon.
You did say that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all right. I can say it again.
No, we're live, baby. We get mess up.
That's
what did you watch?
Joel Kinnaman, right?
Who?
Joel Kinnaman. Is that on Netflix?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, the one that you watched.
You're talking about Altered Carbon.
Isn't that the guy who's in the Suicide Squad? Rick Flag.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I gotta get on that one.
Yeah.
They didn't cancel it, did they? It's still got. Is it over? Like, I don't know what the state of that show is.
I think the second season has Anthony Mackie.
Yep.
Anthony Mackie. Okay.
Is he bringing a shield?
Bro, he's bringing in the new world order.
Laugh.
Plot twist. Cap is the new bad guy.
Yeah.
No, it never happened. We never see a dark Captain America in the MCU.
What'd you watch other than the Guardian special again?
Listen, I loved it, and I'm gonna watch it, and I stare at my Funko Pops, and I'm like, you know what, Drax? I am gonna buy you because I did enjoy you in the special. All right.
My son has watched it too many times. He is asking for it back to back to back. He finds that whole thing hilarious. He was singing the song. I was just like, all right, man. I guess there's something for everybody out there.
No, best thing I watched. Episode 8 of Bleach. Blood War. Dude, I'm a huge anime fan. I like manga. I like my Eastern shows. But this show visually, like I get lost. I get lost in this show. It's amazing. So
some of
They
the
do it.
best animation in the past 10 years, like rivaling like stuff like Demon Slayer. Like Demon Slayer is one that a lot of people revere as like being like very well animated.
Yeah.
But this takes the cake in my eyes, at least.
I mean, we can talk. I know this is Marvel Pod or live stream here, but anyone who just enjoys good action, a story that kind of keep you going, and just beautiful animation, shout out to What If, am I right?
Yep.
Dude, here's the one thing. I know DC Animation has their spot in this world. I just wish that more American Western animated series would take more from these anime studios. I really wish they would. And I wish that it wouldn't have to be necessarily considered anime. But I get the style. It's just so much more enjoyable for me. So much more enjoyable.
You get to do different things with the different types of media. Like you just, live action, it's impressive the things you can pull off, and then the animation's impressive. It's a different type of impressive,
Yeah, that's fair. But I gotta say, this Phase 4 tournament, there were some impressive scores and there were some not so impressive scores. So quick rundown back story on what had happened here. Took 4 of the biggest review sites, basically averaged out all of the scores between critics and audience, and came up with a 1 through 16 seeding. So we're going to run through a quick seeding reveal for you guys before we get into the tournament and run down backwards, starting with our bottom seed, number 16, She-Hulk. Any surprise here? Here, you look so calm on there. Like you're just while trailing not too far behind, we have number 15 seed Eternals. Number 14, Thor: Love and Thunder. Our 13 seed is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Number 12 seed, Miss Marvel, which begs the question, do critics know everything? No. Number 11 seed, Black Widow, the Forgotten Movie. Number 10, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Big surprise. Number 9 seed, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
That hurts.
A little bit. A little bit. I type these numbers and words and letters very slowly. Just discussed with every push. Number 8, we have Hawkeye, which is an interesting one. So we're getting kind of in the middle here. Number 7, another surprise. But not so surprising, towards the top half, we have the number 6 seed, Werewolf by Night. Above that, number 5, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Number 4, we have What If. Our overall number 3 seed, WandaVision. Number 2, Loki. And no surprise here, the number 1 overall seed, Spider-Man: No Way Home. So as you guys are watching this video, what we're going to be doing today is talking about round 1 of this tournament. We are going to be going through every matchup. Leave some comments. What do you guys think? Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? What would you have liked to have seen and why? So first round matchups. Let's get it going here. Let me know if you guys can see the beautiful tournament here.
Yeah, we're good.
Fantastic. So we're going to kick it off with number 1, Spider-Man: No Way Home versus number 16, She-Hulk. Elias, I'm going to kick this to you first. Who's winning this one? Why?
Bro, this is a blowout, dude. I mean, you're talking about one of the most iconic characters in all of Marvel. Give me She-Hulk. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I thought we were talking about What If. You know what? I think as I'm trying to take in the art, not from just my perspective, and listen to the directors or whatever, I think She-Hulk just came in at a time that we weren't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think aside from the female lead, it was the script structure, and then the whole finale with the fourth wall break and that kind of like style of writing. It was really the writing that I think the fans couldn't handle, and that to me is where it takes the biggest hit. Outside of that, though, I think the character She-Hulk, Tatiana, killed the role. You had some of the best cameos. Daredevil, obviously lifted that
Oh,
show up for
a
me.
double dip of Daredevil right here.
Daredevil lifted that show up for me a lot, and I'd say I'm pretty excited to see her again, more than I am excited to see some other people on this list here. So I'll give her that, but still got to go to the boy, Spider-Man, in my opinion.
Do we like Daredevil in No Way Home better than She-Hulk?
Well, in No Way Home, it was really for me just a fan service, right? We were all saying, dude, Spider-Man needs a lawyer. Spider-Man needs a lawyer. He comes in, just a little taste, getting a chance to see Charlie Cox back in the role. But in She-Hulk, they really got to dive into his character, and especially in the courtroom, saying not all superheroes want their identity to be known, and like that kind of like aspect of what it is to be a superhero and like the consequences that come with it. I like what he had to offer in that show.
Is there anything that put She-Hulk? What did She-Hulk do anything better than Spider-Man did?
Oof.
Now again, this is the first comparison though. This is interesting. Disney Plus comparison to a third Spider-Man movie. MCU, Marvel Studios Spider-Man movie.
So I think the only thing that I can really say that they did pretty equally well was presenting the character as well as they could have to represent the comic version of them as best as they possibly could. I think She-Hulk was pretty spot on with the way that she was. The performance was pretty much exactly how she is in the comics. And I mean, a lot of complaints for Tom Holland's Spider-Man were that he wasn't like that. Like, he wasn't comic accurate. He was just Iron Boy. And this movie kind of rectified that whole idea and really kind of shoved it in our faces that no, he's Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker. This whole time he was just Peter Parker, a Peter Parker that was dealing with Iron Man. That's exactly how Peter Parker would have acted with Iron Man. But we got the accurate characters in both of these properties, at least.
Harry, is this a blowout for you too?
I wouldn't say a blowout. It definitely is better, just for the sense of No Way Home is fan service. It's fan service. But whether people want to argue that fact or not, you have to realistically look at the movie as what it is, and you can't. No Way Home is just better. And I have so many ideas going through my head. It's better just because you get the Tobey Maguire, you get the Andrew Garfield, you get the cameos from the villains, you get those little small scenes with Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, Sandman. You get all that, and then She-Hulk. Yes, it's not a blowout just because it did have its moments, but it's fan service. You can't argue with fan service. Yeah, it's No Way Home for me.
And even more in Spider-Man's defense, it may be fan service, but it was fan service with a purpose.
Ooh.
Because those Spider-Men actually served a purpose for existing in that movie, and they helped guide Peter Parker off the path of vengeance. They helped him maintain his morality.
Now,
So-
who kind of had a little better mentor moment? Andrew and Toby to Peter, or Daredevil to She-Hulk?
I'd say Daredevil to She-Hulk.
My vote's the Spider-Man.
Same. And for me, it's specifically the Andrew Garfield portion. I think that man leveled up. in Spider-Man No Way Home. He got a chance to perform like never before. And when he said, I lost my MJ, her name was Gwen Stacy, and I wasn't pulling my punches. I got down to this very dark path. And you could just feel the remorse and the resent in his voice saying, you don't want to be this. You're better than this. We're better than this. I was like, bro, I'm Spider-Man.
I think this goes back to what you've always said too, Elias, with this is we've gone back and forth on the reluctant hero versus the hero who wanted to be the hero. Like Tom Holland wants to save the day. She-Hulk did not want to, Jen did not want to save the day as She-Hulk. She wanted to save the day as Jen. That's what she's worked for her whole life. But like, this is Spider-Man's life. Like, even with everything taken away, at the core of who he is at the very end of that movie, make my own suit and I'm going to go save people. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And I think it was these movies and these two properties are very opposite in a lot of way for me. But I think Spider-Man delivered at a very high level for everything, where they delivered to the fans, where She-Hulk basically took the fans and just threw pies in their face. I mean, I think we can say this one's pretty wrapped up. Bye-bye, She-Hulk. Spider-Man moves on.
One, man.
I did. I know. Could you imagine if we put... I think I'd try to log into my YouTube one day and it's like, error. I'm like, what happened?
We get canceled faster than Kanye, man.
Yeah, that'd be rough. All right. Well, She-Hulk didn't really have a chance. It was a superior character, superior story. Villain, I didn't even want to go there, but who had the better villain?
I just gotta laugh, bro. I just gotta laugh.
Yeah,
the fact that internet trolls were the villain of She-Hulk was just kind of, like, it was funny, but it's not a real villain. Like, just being real, it's not a real one.
I mean, Greg, you know how much weight I put into that villain, bro. Since day one, you and I have always been on that villain train. There was no train for me to hop on, bro. I had to walk all the way over there.
Yeah. Listen, if She-Hulk could be redone, She-Hulk needs a season 2. I personally think She-Hulk needs a season 2 in terms of fixing what was missing with her initial story. They don't have to work on the character. They need to work everything else out.
If the whole season's kind of like the season finale and they keep that consistency for a season 2, I feel like that people would get the idea a little bit more. Like, okay, this is what she's about. Because when they did that in the finale, it was just so left field. She didn't do it enough throughout the whole season.
There's an expectation to it now. Like, it's hard to compare in intro anything to something that's this 5th or 6th character's appearance, but this is what Phase 4 was. Now we can get into this, and I wish we had commenters for this one, because I personally am not high on Hawkeye by any means. Hawkeye is lower on my list, but people love Hawkeye, and that's why you find it in the middle.
Yeah,
here.
Look at my boy.
So Harry, I gotta say, man, sway me on Hawkeye taking it over Wakanda Forever.
Well, I wouldn't say I like the Hawkeye show over Wakanda Forever. That's excessive. I think I like Hawkeye mainly for the reason that it's Clinton Barton. I have grown to love over the years that character. The overall show, it's a bit rough. It has its plot holes. It has its moments where it's like, that wasn't really for me. Kate Bishop didn't really grow on me as much as I thought she would.
Wait.
Although Haley Steinfeld.
Yo, you can't just say no. Although.
I like Hawkeye himself, but the show, it had its moments, but overall it's mediocre for me. But yeah, Wakanda Forever, I was really surprised it didn't rank like in the top 3 of the list, at least.
Okay. Let's unpack this Hawkeye piece. What did Hawkeye do better than Wakanda Forever? That's really where I would want to start with this. What did because there are people who saw Hawkeye in a better light. Sheesh.
Drag it out.
Gosh.
Some
Let
people
me give
take
you-
that.
Let me give you my 2 cents.
Okay.
I think, and this might be a hot take, Kate Bishop is one of the best character introductions that we've gotten in Phase 4. I loved her character. I love her quirkiness. I think she is set up perfectly to, take on that mantle of the Hawkeye figure. She is somebody I think can actually run the Young Avengers team in terms of a leader and really kind of be like that glue portion of it that like Clint was for the main Avengers along with Natasha. Where Hawkeye kind of lacks for me is we've already talked about that finale, with the route that they went with Kingpin and stuff like that.
Huge mess.
And I think,
Massive.
I mean, now that I realize it, like the whole MacGuffin of the whole show was Kingpin trying to get his hands on a watch that had to do with Clint's wife, and like that reveal that she used to be Mockingbird wasn't like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like a wow factor for me, but in terms of the action, we got a chance to see Hawkeye, I think, put in work and finally get a good showcase. And because it's like a holiday season kind of in the timeline, you get like these good vibes from it. Like Hawkeye's an enjoyable like rewatch vibe, I feel.
If it's Christmas.
It was on my list to watch before Christmas, to be honest.
See, look at that.
Select episodes though.
Like, okay, let me tell you this: like Hawkeye or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I have Falcon and the Winter Soldier as a little bit better in terms of a show, but I have Hawkeye better in rewatchability.
Ooh.
Interesting. I think another reason why people like it so much is the what is going to happen between Yelena and Hawkeye because of what happened in Endgame.
Bro, okay, right there, that is my issue with Hawkeye and why I can never go all in on it. I think Hawkeye had probably one of the best ceilings and some of the most promise of any Disney Plus show, especially that opening scene when you see Hawkeye jumping off the building, Kate Bishop's there, like you potentially have swordsman, there's rumors of Kingpin, like we're going to be passing of a mantle of an Avengers character to a young Avenger potentially, like the Maya Lopez, Echo, what does that look like? Just, I think there were so many pieces there, and then you get Yelena, but like nothing happened once they actually showed up, and like it all kind of fell flat for me. It all kind of fell flat, minus that car chase scene, those Pym Tech arrows, which was a solid call, but and just like kind of what Hawkeye does. Like this man, if it's a 48-hour prep and he's going 1v1, like I'm nervous for whoever's the opposite of Hawkeye. But even the Ronin stuff, like for me, I felt empty watching this. I liked it, but I felt empty.
Do you think that the season finale should have been a mid-season episode and that
Oh, dude, that should have been deleted. Pure deletion.
Okie dokie.
It ain't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean,
Dude,
Maybe hit it.
Wait. One thing before you say with the finale. Before this show, my wife is like, "Oh, Kingpin's supposed to be," and I'm like, "Yeah." I went through Daredevil Netflix and showed her clips of this man crushing people in Escalade doors, and he's getting handled by Kate Bishop, and he got a power up. I'm just saying that was a no-go for me, and they gave him a bogus costume in there.
That Hawaiian shirt, boy.
Hey, man, he dresses like that in the comics.
he got Disneyed.
Yeah, Fabian, what do you got? Sorry, man.
No, you're good. He does wear that exact outfit in an issue of his appearances, but that's besides the point.
I'll take
Some
that.
things got to stay
That-
in the comics, bro. Keep it in the comics. That's all
he
I gotta
has he
say.
has a wide variety of clothes that he wears. I mean, he'll wear like what are those things called? I don't know. They're like Japanese attire. They're kind of like got like the high collar.
Oh, the
And,
Mandarin color.
Yeah, kind of something similar like that. Like he just into like different cultures and whatnot. Like, so he'll wear a bunch of different outfits. But for me, Hawkeye, it's just really got a lot of great character moments, and a lot of the writing with a lot of the extra characters that they put in here just kind of fall flat. The whole thing really is about Hawkeye's consequences, like Clint Barton's consequences for what he was doing as Ronin, and he never actually faces any of that.
Mm-hmm.
It very sloppily gets all tied together by the end. Like, I agree that Kingpin should not have been really handled the way he was at the end there by Kate Bishop. It just didn't really make sense. Like, Kate Bishop isn't that. She ain't that good. Like, I just say it. Like, I love her. I love her character. I love the character arcs that she
100%.
has. Her chemistry with a lot of people, but she's not like. I don't know. Like the whole situation. Like Kingpin wouldn't have put himself in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that.
I think Clint should have kicked the bucket, man. That would have been what put it up there for me.
As much as I love Hawkeye and as much as I love the character, I agree with Elias. I think, and as much as I didn't want to see that happen, I did think he was going to, and the fact that he didn't, I think it was anticlimactic as a show.
Yeah.
So ultimately, all the show gave us was just introductions to Echo and Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
And Echo fell flat completely for me. Like her whole arc served no
Bro,
purpose.
Echo's
It's gonna be
my
a
boy
tough
right here.
sell for me.
Lose. That's Lou's
sell.
girl right there.
Tough sell for me on an Echo show, man.
Yeah. I think I was banking on the whole thing of like knowing that they would bring in Kingpin and Vincent D'Onofrio's character, and then Echo's backstory and the connection that she has with Daredevil and how that went about. And then they started to play those things out of like, you're just like, okay, well, Kingpin raised her. They're staying with that. Okay. But then at the end, it's just, I don't like teases that they gave where she shoots him, but she doesn't, she misses, right? They're both going to be
blind.
showing. He's
supposed
blind?
to go blind.
He got shot in both eyes. Apparently, it's like the Superman effect where you get shot, it stops there, but you just go blind. Doesn't go through all the way.
Don't lie to me.
Dude, in the comics, that's the next
No,
run.
that's
Like,
the story.
He's literally blind, bro.
Because it's supposed to be like the irony of him losing his sight when his greatest enemy doesn't even have his sight.
Yeah, and then he goes and he asks Matt if he can take on the mantle for Daredevil now.
He's gonna need a brand new suit. But listen, that I think you guys summed it up. Without even getting into Wakanda Forever, Hawkeye's consequences, in my opinion, just they don't matter, and they're not, the stakes aren't high enough for this show. But it just kind of fell flat. That's probably the best way to say it.
It's just it's all that show needed to be about, and he needed to pay. Like, if he had lost an arm, that would have been good enough, because then that would have been an even more reason for the mantle to be passed on to Kate Bishop, and someone could have been satisfied, like, hey, this is your penance for what you've done.
Bro, they should have brought in the hand
Ooh.
from a
I think
Ronin.
they're still trying to work that stuff out. Like,
I know.
Is Netflix canon or not? Like, or at the time when the show came out, I think
right.
Not trying to blend everything or make everything too obvious. I don't know. The whole thing is just, it's approaching DC EU level of messy.
I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far.
All right. What does Wakanda Forever do? I don't even think you have to get too detailed on this one, but what does Wakanda Forever do to, because as of right now, remember, Wakanda Forever is the underdog. So we need to figure out why it's better than Hawkeye, based on everything we said about Hawkeye.
Well, I think I said this a couple lives ago. I think it's wrong to compare it to any other project, even MCU, DC, or any other movie, just because it's a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Excuse me.
Right, I gotta change this Hawkeye or Wakanda Forever then.
Yeah. So I mean, as a movie, it's great. And I really enjoyed it. I cried several times. Yeah.
You didn't cry when Yelena and Kate Bishop were eating macaroni?
Oh, I cried in the elevator scene.
Okay.
For how cringe it was.
No, yeah. Yeah, it was just better in this. There was a little bit of fan service in a way, just because they paid homage to him, and like the one of the last scenes in the movie was the Shuri. She was on the beach and she was crying, and you know that was such a surreal moment, because I think that also gave fans a moment to think about Chadwick Boseman and his time as the Black Panther, and that was kind of their moment to reflect, as you know, and it was their moment of, you know, that wow, he's really gone.
But we should recast him though. I mean, right? We wanted T'Challa. We wanted T'Challa. So that fell flat for a lot of people. A lot of people did not like that.
Bro, I don't understand. Those guys need to find out the definition of respect, bro.
But what did Wakanda Forever do from a standpoint of like Hawkeye? We got an Avenger carryover. We got an introduction of a new character. We got some crossovers. We pulled in Maya, Kingpin, those types of things. We got a brand new street level crew. Like it expanded the street level part of the MCU in a decent way. And
bro, yeah, as I say, you got Neymar and Riri, bro, and I thought that like the entire portion of the movie they killed it. You know, I put Neymar as like one of my top 3 maybe villain performances across the board.
They increased the stakes on a global standpoint. Not just like, you know, that show did at street level, but like this is global. Like the vibranium issue is becoming a global issue. Everyone wants a piece. They found out about it. This is how this stuff would happen in real life. We already know. They're gonna find some reason to get up in there and get it. And they're gonna try, they're gonna fail. Like there's like the most advanced civilization in the MCU.
They're gonna fail.
And they lost to some water balloons.
The most dangerous, bro. Between the water balloons and the sirens.
Yeah,
I feel like those were under.
Jokes aside, the movie is far more well put together. The direction, the cinematography, the music, the performances. There's more emotional impact. There's actual consequences for the things that they do. I mean, we lost a couple things here throughout this film, and there's the whole movie's existence is a consequence to T'Challa showing the world that Wakanda exists.
Yeah. Which I don't understand why that piece is over. Like why did Namor even show up? Why was he even there? What was the point of this movie? They shouldn't even have had a conflict in the first place. That was legit. Like that to me, when I heard that, I was like, bam, okay, let's move on. Like I got that. That made sense to me. That's a big deal. These people have been hidden for hundreds of years. And now you have someone there saying, I'm a responsible king. I keep my people where I'm not messing with any of you guys' stuff. Your king did this, and now it's affecting me and my people. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my people. And he went through again, I don't even know if that story can be told in a Disney Plus series, let alone a special presentation. I think that is movie level unless I'm missing something here. Because the only thing that comes to mind, and I'd have to figure it out, is Falcon Winter Soldier. but that was like a tee up to something that could be on that scale. Potentially. I don't know. So if you had to pick one, Hawkeye, Wakanda Forever. 8 and 9 seed. Yeah. Let's go, baby.
Yeah,
Here he is.
Wakanda
Sorry,
Forever.
Hawkeye loses. Oh, he switches. Just as I switch here. Black Panther Wakanda Forever moves on, setting up a wild second round showdown between Wakanda Forever and No Way Home. We're going to move to the other side of the bracket, though. Number 2, Loki versus number 15, Eternals. I don't know if this one's going to be close. I don't want to assume, though.
I'll give my small argument for Eternals.
Okay.
I don't believe that it's the better project, personally, but I think it shouldn't be dismissed so easily. I think it's very underrated. I think there's just a lot of problems in the fact that this is a movie. It would have done better in the format. Actually, if it were up to me, I would flip these two. I would have made Eternals the Disney Plus show, and I would have made Loki the movie. Because Loki, as far as like some of the pacing between those episodes and getting to the point and getting all the way to what's he who should not be named Voldemort. Getting all the way to him, like some of the pacing was a little dicey there for me. I think you can get to those bullet points in the pacing style of a movie very well and pretty easily. Whereas Eternals, you're jumping all over the timeline. These people have been around for a very long time. They have very deep intricacy to their characters as to how they became how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Being essentially synthetic people and gods among humans throughout all of history, and a lot of history being based around them from how long they've been on the planet. And the impact of what is going on in the story, I feel like, is just overlooked completely. Like, it's adding so much lore to the Marvel universe in the MCU about what has been going on and what is the reason for the creation for all these different planets and stuff. So you got a lot of big revelations here that kind of just get glossed over because this is boring. The movie kind of is more about education than it is about actually like giving you a solid movie. But the ending with the combat, phenomenal. The fighting styles in that ending were great. I felt the stakes. The twist with Icarus, it works for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I think it's a pretty decent movie. I'm not out here trying to say that it's like a masterpiece or it's better than No Way Home or whatever, but I think it's a decent movie.
Rewatchability. What would you rather rewatch? Your favorite episode of Loki, or all of Loki, or rewatch Eternals?
I mean, I'm really only watching episode 6 of Loki. Like, that's for one man. Me personally, like that whole thing was, and it's just talking basically. I've rewatched Eternals a few times personally.
Same.
Like I said, I'll stand by it. It's a decent movie, and I think it's okay that it's a decent movie. But Loki does more for the universe, though, like moving it forward.
At the time when Loki came out, there are a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, if you think about it, like that's a long time for the events of Loki, based on how much content we've gotten. Like that's pretty much like something happened in phase 1, and we didn't get it until like Captain Marvel timeline of the Infinity Saga. Like it felt like it was a very long time. I could be way off on that, but Eternals for me smashes Loki from an action standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
It smashes a lot of stuff that's ever been done from an action standpoint. So for me, there's no contest when it comes to that. I guess it would come down to potentially characters. Did we like Loki? Did we like Sylvie?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, He Who Remains was sick. But I think Eternals falls slightly flat on that standpoint.
Yeah, There's just too many. And that's what goes back to me saying like the Disney Plus series would have been good. You get something out of everybody.
I think from that standpoint, it almost felt like, what if you got all the Avengers before the first Iron Man movie without any? There was no real storytelling prior to Eternals. You didn't get a chance to get to know the characters individually.
And
there
I
was no
think from a comics standpoint, or at least from my end, like I haven't gone too in depth with the Eternals, but I know at least I was like, let me do a quick read up. And I was like, man, Icarus is gonna be insane. Like Druig, I was not expecting
Druig,
that.
my boy.
But it was kind of hard because the shifts that they took in this, like Crow is garbage to me. Talk about a villain. I was very disappointed. And then
They don't even say his name in the movie,
which is wild to me. Absolutely wild.
No, that thing is such a throwaway and like embarrassment. It's not even cool. Like, cool concept.
Mhm.
Would have been nice if they like. What if it like absorbed Icarus, like an Icarus like took over its mind or something, like an Icarus was Crone, like something like that. Like it would have been completely left field, like not accurate to the comics at all. But like at least you're doing something with it. Like
I think outside of from a villain standpoint and the story that was told, I mean, I like that if it would have been a Disney Plus. You could have got one episode per character or something, or like 2 per episode or whatever it might have been. Like they could have told that a little bit differently. We could have chewed on that. But the story that Loki told, for me, when anyone asks me what is Loki about, I always lead with it's a love story, self-love. And it intrigues people all the time. They're like, what are you talking about? I thought it was a superhero show. I'm like, well, what if I told you it was a story about self-love and there is minimal action from a superhero standpoint? And I've gotten people to watch it and they've enjoyed it, whereas they haven't enjoyed some of the other properties that have been Disney Plus.
I love the scene where this new Loki discovers his future, where he goes through all of his future memories. I love that scene. That scene almost made the entire show for me. Almost.
because he's just Avengers 1 Loki. Like
Yeah.
he's not the Loki that died for
pure
Thanos.
Loki.
So.
Yep.
So is this
I'm going with Loki.
I'm going Loki too, but I will say I feel like if they had shown enough love to these guys as a Disney Plus show with the Eternals, and it was the same quality, same action, more depth, a lot of these Disney Plus shows would have been taken more seriously. I think, like this would have been a more well received thing. I feel like because if you get that action level and all that CGI from the Celestials and whatnot on a Disney Plus show at home, like every week, you would have been. Tell me, people would not have been eating that up. Like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? Like, what is that? Like,
yeah. All right, he who remains or Arsham.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. That presentation, that PowerPoint presentation that Erisham did was unreal, bro. I felt like I was like, dude, when I left that theater, I felt like a space physicist. I was like, bro, I know the cosmic world. I'm ready, dude. Like, and the way they explained it and they showed like the World Forge or whatever, or is it the World Forge? I don't remember. But where all the Eternals are created, I'm like, there's 1,000 millions of Eternals out there, bro. And I think like for me, the lore of the Eternals and knowing that they're out there, how powerful they are, the special effects, everything about that, and then knowing that even them, they just play this role in the universe continuing to evolve, right? Like once a planet is no longer sustainable, the next celestial is born to create another universe, and it's like at this endless cycle.
Eternals is just missing a few pieces, man. Like when hearing you guys talk about it, I'm like, damn, Eternals is way better than the 15. Like this is the second the worst thing we've seen in the MCU. I just talked about Hawkeye. No, like, yeah, I'm sorry, but for me, that's just I would literally flip those two. But
To be honest, yeah, I feel like I have more issues with Hawkeye than I did with Eternals.
kind
Dude,
of.
Eternals was for me. Eternals was phenomenal, bro. I loved it. I especially Druid, bro. In that one scene when he realized, like, I think it was like after the Spanish Inquisition or whatever, or maybe I'm just saying stuff, but it was like that one part in history where I think they were like at the pyramid, and that's when
Oh.
they split up for the first time.
Wait. Side note. Does Namor know about that?
Ooh, bro, Namor probably ran in with him. He probably ran in with him for sure.
I know some people are mentioning that online.
That would be
Um,
crazy. That'd be crazy if they did like a quick little flashback. Bro pulls up, but he tells him, he's like, I have the power to literally control the whole world and make them and eliminate hate from their mind. But if I do that, then they are not living a human life, and it's terrible to have to sit back and watch. And that's why he went off into the woods and he was like, nah, I'm gonna go do my thing. You know what I'm saying? On that vegan lifestyle, everything's right here. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like that, to me, that's character development. I'm like, dude, he literally cannot save these people. He can, but he cannot. I was like, wow.
Random Eternals tie-in that you guys, I don't know if you guys caught it, but when they're doing like the Hollywood stuff in the Guardian special,
Oh yeah, Kingo.
yeah, the Kango's posters are in the background. I thought that was pretty neat that they still had them around.
Yeah.
And Kingo's a sleeper, dude. If he would have showed up to the final battle and he would have teamed up with Icarus, oof, everybody else would have got washed.
Yeah.
I really
think
love that actor. I would watch anything he does, man.
Mm-hmm. We didn't even talk about it though. I mean, I know Loki had a setup for some time issues, but we got probably one of the better-ish post-credit scenes with Blade. Even though we didn't see him, it could have been better. But
dude, I think that's one of the best post-credit scenes in Phase 4. To be honest, now I think about it.
People rag on it.
We don't have much competition though.
Well, hey,
post-credit scenes have been
a
dull.
win is a win.
A win is a win.
Is a win, bro. That's all I know.
W.
Let's
This
not
is
talk about Blade though.
what's up.
Let's not talk about Blade now though.
Well, I mean, I guess that would kind of add into like the knock of how it kind of ended. Like it set up things that are just like, what? Like we have a Celestial still just doing its thing. The Eternals split up. Is Icarus going to come back? Is he not? Who saw Arishem? Why is no one talking about that? Why are people not afraid of that? Like that was a big deal. This guy just moved the clouds and was just like, get over here. You're
And
coming
people
with me.
on the internet seem to hate people that want to know if anyone has a reaction to that thing.
I would love to know.
I've seen people like saying like, why do we need to know? Why do we need people's reaction to the Celestial in the ocean or Arishem showing up to grab somebody out of nowhere? Like, I don't know, because these are just giant things that pop up out of nowhere.
Dude,
like
I'm sorry, they canceled my cruise. Oh, babe, I got an email. They canceled my cruise. Why? There's a Celestial in the ocean. There's no way around it. So we can't go on vacation now, because like these are things that could impact people. That's a stupid example, but
Namor, he probably felt that somewhere.
Oh, he definitely felt that. He definitely felt that.
Not even like no connectivity about it. Like I don't know. There's part of it that makes me feel like they don't care to reference this thing when clearly they have to make a sequel. They have to do something with it.
Yep.
But anyways, we're all going Loki though, right? Like I don't.
It's that like X Factor piece for me. Loki, although it might be missing things that Eternals has, in my opinion, the story that was delivered and the consequences for the greater MCU, I think outweigh anything Eternals did.
To answer your original question, Jonathan Majors' performance versus Arisham's, Jonathan Majors, it doesn't beat. Like, you got someone that's basically a god lecturing you in Arishem, whereas it feels like with Jonathan Majors' performance here, he was approaching it like someone that was a god and knows that his time is coming, and he is just giving you his final testament.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Solid comparison here. This was good. I don't think it was close, but I think it was interesting. So we're going to. Oh, hey Harry.
Hi, Harry.
Just clicking the wrong button here. Big deal. We're not live. That's all right. Big news stations do something like that. So take it for whatever you want. Loki moves on. But now we're going to get Moon Knight, the 10-7 matchup. Moon Knight versus Falcon and Winter Soldier.
You mean Elias versus Harry?
Oh, boy.
Let me load my biceps.
Elias, let me give you first crack. Give you first crack here. Who takes the dub? Who takes the dub?
I just
Big reason
cannot say a bad thing about Moon Knight, bro. That's my baby right there, man. That's I mean, other than really getting into it, Moon Knight's my baby.
Who's the owner of that shield over your left shoulder?
Not my boy Sam. He hasn't come knocking, and neither has the government. So this is the property. Oh wait, how do I do this?
Yep,
that's the property of me, not the United States government or Sam Wilson. All right, and if Bucky comes around, well, he doesn't even have no vibranium arm no more, so I could take him.
Listen, we're gonna set up some pads on the trees out back. Start doing some calisthenics workouts, some double backs, and start whipping that thing around. All right, Harry.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Falcon and Winter Soldier definitely does have its issues, as does Moon Knight. I want to clarify that. One thing about Falcon and the Winter Soldier that I didn't like was, and I know I do like Sam Wilson, I do, and I know people are hell-bent on making this a race thing. It's not. I just really think that SHIELD should have gone to his best friend, Bucky. And it's not a race thing. It's not truly, like I said. But Steve gave his shield to his running buddy when he could have gave it to his best friend. So that's my thing.
Did he make the right choice? Did he make the right choice?
He made the right choice. Falcon was not his running buddy. You got to remember, in Winter, no, he wasn't, because in Winter Soldier, this I'm gonna go crazy for this. In Winter Soldier, Cap had nobody, bro. Like, he was, Nick Fury was done, and then he had Natasha, and they were on the run. And Falcon's like, dude, I got you. Whether you really are a bad person or not, I got your back. And he has been his day one ride or die since day one, bro. He has been the roadie to him more than Bucky has. The only thing is that Cap has more history with Bucky. Last time I checked, though, my boy's still technically a terrorist. He ain't getting no shield for America. Oh, wait. You know what I'm saying?
I think the problem with Bucky getting the shield, at least in this iteration, is that he is, like you said, like basically a terrorist, like someone that's done a lot of terrible things. His rap sheet is out there for the world to see. But he's just as much a man at a time as Steve Rogers is. He had to keep going under ice, out of ice, under, over. Like, he did not have his own life. The only thing he remembers really to his own is what he had before he lost his arm. So he's kind of just as lost, if not more, than Steve Rogers. He didn't have he has a Sam now. Like, I think they've rectified their little issues through that show, but Winter Soldier, like, status, like the actual name of the Winter Soldier, did a lot of damage to him. So he's not necessarily, I think eventually he could be. Like, they could hand that off to him once he's ready. But right now, the way his status is with the world, I don't think he was the right person to give it to him at the time. But Sam is is just the right guy. I mean, like Elias was saying, like he showed him the love when nobody else would. Basically, he trusted him. He knew what he was about. Essentially, he knew exactly who he was trusting. So
I mean, that one line that he says, you know, when people are shooting at you, they're normally shooting at me.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to stand by that. You know what I'm saying? Bro, if I'm just a guy with wings and I got no type of protection, I'll be like, yo, look, if they're shooting at you, I'm flying away, dude. I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be there, bro.
Did they do a good?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say. So the whole Falcon shouldn't have got the shield. That to me is an argument that I cannot stand. I'm gonna take a seat for that one.
So we get backstory with Moon Knight and Mark and all of that. Did they do a decent job? Because I think they did a pretty good job, in my opinion, of establishing who Moon Knight is and the issues that he has. And we know that character, but we don't fully know the character. But we have a clear path of where that should most likely be heading. Falcon and Winter Soldier individually, I think this is one of the first shows where it's like those secondary characters are now getting that spotlight, right? Do you guys think they did a better job highlighting the backstory of these characters and giving us new information in Falcon and Winter Soldier or Moon Knight?
In that respect, I think I liked Moon Knight more. We got a really clear indication of who Mark Spector and Stephen Grant are. Yeah.
All three of them.
The only thing that I didn't like about one of the things that I didn't like about the show is we didn't get to see his third person. Well, really, we got to see him, but we didn't.
It's too early.
Yeah, season 2. But that was the only really big thing that I didn't like. There were some things in the season finale that I didn't really enjoy. But yeah,
I almost think that's a plus.
I agree.
Like they dangled that third personality and kind of withheld some things where I feel like they really couldn't withhold very much with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but
I think it had.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I just think they had to prove a little bit more of being like, okay, well, we're losing like the dude who assembled the Avengers to finish Thanos, essentially. And to hold that shield, like that shield means a lot. You had 3 people essentially fighting for it. But they kind of had to put everything out on the line for these two to kind of convince me that this is a show worth continuing to watch. And I'm like, okay, well, this is Disney Plus, I guess. Like that show, I don't think they delivered as well on establishing the character and then leaving room for more. Am I really excited to see Falcon and Winter Soldier in their next roles? Maybe. I am very excited to see Moon Knight again.
I would concur with that. I'm more excited to see Moon Knight in that respect of like where are they going to go next with him. Bucky, like one of my favorite characters of Bucky. I'm just excited to see him rather than where are they going to go next with him.
And that matters.
There's a difference.
Yeah, that matters though, for sure. Fabian, what do you have?
No, I was just gonna say I think it's just it's a little widespread to kind of compare a little bit, just because one's a character introduction and the other one's just featuring the like we want new information. We want to see anything and everything about these people that we've already known. They're side characters that are finally getting the spotlight. So I'm expecting like them to throw everything in the kitchen sink at me about the background of these 2 guys and anyone else that they meet in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Moon Knight's just a character introduction. So the way that they told his background story was kind of like backwards. They made it more mysterious. Less is more. So the less you tell about him, the more intrigued you are to get more out of him. I mean, that's really basically where the difference lies. Is like one's a sequel and one's an origin movie.
But that's the issue of Phase 4. I feel like this matchup fully encompasses the issue that Marvel Studios has from that statement that you made right there. More is more with Falcon and Winter Soldier, or less is more with Moon Knight.
Less is more, baby.
And to be honest with you, like, this is the balance that they're going to have unless they change their formula.
Well, they had their
Right?
less is more phase already. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier already had. They were sidekicks. They were just in the background.
Sure.
One was a villain for a little bit, and the other one was just a little side character that came along with Captain America every so often, like Age of Ultron for a scene, and Winter Soldier, and then Civil War, and
Smoked
so
by
on and so
Ant-Man.
forth. What's that?
Smoked by Ant-Man.
Oh,
that
yeah,
scene
that
bothered me. I
I
hated that
I
scene.
love that scene.
You did? Oh, dude.
Because you look at that power set, you're gonna underestimate that type of power set.
For sure.
It's stupid. It is a stupid power set. It shouldn't
He's
even be possible.
unreasonably strong though. It's unreal, bro. That power can go to work if you use it
It
right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very
I mean, that's
slept
just
on.
how it's always been. It's just nobody, like in the comics at least, nobody really uses it to the extent to where they're because there's people that have used it for evil, and they do the thing that they've done in The Boys, where
Sure.
you're doing the Thanos theory, Ant-Man versus Thanos theory.
The Thanos theory.
Thanos, baby.
It's
That's good.
forging. That's a forging theories approved word. It's okay.
No, I enjoyed that fight because it's just he was caught off guard, and he's lucky that Scott is the next person.
That's fair. That's fair. Real quick, from a story aspect, from an enjoyability and kind of what just sat better, did you guys enjoy the Moon Knight story that was told, or did you enjoy the Falcon and Winter Soldier story that was told? And I know these are wild to compare, right? This is just nuts to do in the first place. And these two shows probably have no business being in the same conversation. But at the end of the day, this is the content that they give us, and people have liked some more than others. So here we go.
I'm going Moon Knight story.
I gotta go Moon Knight, bro.
The way it goes, where it basically is telling the story backwards, you kind of just get tossed, and you're just as confused as the character is. You don't know. He doesn't know why he's there. He isn't going to tell you why he's there because he doesn't know, and you don't want to know, and you want to stick around to find out.
Yes.
And that is a good way to get you caught up with somebody. Then eventually it just trickles you along and walks you along the path, and you eventually get to know in depth, very much in depth, why this one character is the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, that's what the show is about. It's more story driven than anything. It's like, cause that's why you don't get so much Moon Knight in it.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna have to pick Moon Knight too, just because it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was predictable in the sense of Falcon. You knew the end result in a way. Falcon. That show was Falcon becoming Captain America. That was the end result. But Moon Knight, that unpredictability was the key ingredient to the entertainment factor. You didn't know what was going to happen, like the fact that the hippo god or whatever gave the girl powers. I would have never predicted that. It was
Physical change.
Physical change. I would have never predicted that. So I think I would have to pick Moon Knight too, over setting my my liking for Bucky aside.
Although when he went off in the bar, though, I was hyped for that. When he's like, I got to pretend to be the Winter Soldier, but dude, my guy loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
I think what Falcon and Winter Soldier was really just lacking was a good villain. Like
The
those
villain,
Flag
Like John
Factory-
Walker, bro.
he
Carly
was
Morgenthau?
barely a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just an antagonist.
Yeah,
He was a wannabe.
he was a roadblock, barely. He was a speed bump. That's all.
No,
Um,
the coldest part was when he was like, when they hop into the back of the truck and he's like, "Hey, I'm Battlestar," and and Bucky's like, "I'm out. I'm not doing this." He's like, "Ain't no way Cap died for this man to say I'm Battlestar."
Oh man.
It had moments. It had moments. Falcon and Winter Soldier had moments, but I almost like between Sharon, between not really going all in on Zemo personally, John Walker, the introduction of Val, like all of it felt kind of B tier. I'm not going to say the word mid. That's not. I'm not using that. But again, it was okay.
You didn't like Zemo's dance?
Bro, that should never be one of the best parts of a show. Personally,
They should have made Zemo the ultimate mastermind about the whole thing again.
yes.
Yeah.
And did you not think that was gonna happen? Like, this is the guy pulling the strings, and they're like, no, Sharon Carter's a power broker,
Or at least he could have known about Sharon. He could have been
Something.
in something connected with her. Like, I don't know.
Something.
That's really where the show fell flat. It just felt like there was no antagonist after the Flag Smashers. Like that's not good enough. Like just a generic group with like one little leader that they barely even listen to.
The scale of Moon Knight was good, but we'll dive a little bit deeper into that when it comes to. I guess I spoiled the who advanced, even though we all know. But Loki is taking on Moon Knight in round 2.
Yes, sir.
Now we get to one that I think is a little bit interesting, right? We're halfway through. I think we have a clear idea of what's going to go on. But this one is interesting. What If versus Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Fabian, I'm going to kick this one to you first.
Oh, I was like, where is this?
Oh yeah, sorry. We're back on the left side, bottom. We'll call it quadrant 4 for all my graphing calculators out there.
This one's kind of weird for me, just because I mean, this show kind of set the precedence for what we thought Multiverse of Madness was going to be like. I mean, you got Captain Carter in Multiverse of Madness. We thought that the evil Doctor Strange was going to be in Multiverse of Madness per the trailer. You got a lot of great stories and animation in this is a difficult thing because you're comparing animation to a live action property.
Yes.
So this is one of the toughest things, and I pit this stuff up with a buddy of mine all the time, like because he really loves anime. So I'll be like, "Well, you really like that live action? You like the Avengers, huh? How do you like that versus like Naruto? Like what?"
Yeah.
So it's tough because for me, What If looks brilliant at most times. Backgrounds and animations and the way their bodies look and everything look almost real in a lot of the scenes that they're in. But their faces, I don't know what they were going for there. It looks like almost like a Telltale game. If you guys ever played those, like the Walking Dead Telltale game.
Yeah.
It looks like super under animated, but also like they tried to make it seem realistic as well. And then a lot of these guys that were voice actors for this didn't seem too familiar with voice acting. A lot of the performances fell a little flat for me. Sebastian Stan was one of them. It felt like he was just reading it off the paper. A lot of them just felt like they were reading it off the paper. There were only a few that it felt like they had the experience of like walking in that booth and actually like playing out their role with their voice.
Yeah.
But this thing is ranked really high. Like this number 4. Like that surprised me when we were setting all this up. So I guess it's really a matter of preference. I mean, I know Multiverse of Madness is not everyone's favorite movie, but I really like Sam Raimi's direction. I enjoyed it as a Sam Raimi movie. I like the little story that they were trying to tell with Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, to basically the key to his happiness was to stop trying to be the pilot, stop being the one holding the knife. He needed to embrace that in order to find his happiness and be like the one good Doctor Strange to solve this issue that he was having with Wanda.
Now listen. I'm going to throw a few things out here, and then Harry Ellis, just grab this and run with it. Scarlet Witch, Infinity Ultron. Captain Carter. How Doctor Strange loses hands or whatever that might have been versus his story that was told. This has a lot of similarities in a sense. multiversal travel. Like these are oddly comparable in a lot of different ways. Who told these stories better, differently? But in the end, who do you guys feel that just overall told it and delivered in the best way? Or Fabian, if you have.
I guess to give my wrap up on it, like I feel like the finale of What If is the whole goal of that show, like with the Infinity Ultron and everything. And as for a finale, I feel like it had a better finale than Multiverse of Madness for me personally. And I think it pulled it off pretty well. You had a good like little ensemble cast there of people that you just barely got introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
And Doctor Strange was kind of just like, the message is basically what it takes to get you happy or make you happy. And Wanda, for the longest time, thought that was just stealing her children from another Wanda. And then she realized what she had become to try and get that when her children saw her for what she was. So there's a nice, fun writing technique to that is respectable and interesting. But ultimately, when you're watching these products, you really just kind of want to see stuff get blown up and you want to see some stuff, want to see some people fight. So What If kind of just goes over the moon for me on that one.
Yeah. I got plenty of thoughts on this one, Harry. I'll
All
pass
right.
this your way.
These are very, very different, and not for obviously they're one's animation and one's live action, like Fabian said. Man, I did like What If. I guess some of it or all of it is canon. Reportedly, I heard. We got to see some wicked cameos in excuse me, in Multiverse of Madness. We got to see John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. We got to see Professor X. We got to see Captain Marvel, the Monica Rambeau.
Maria Rambo.
Sorry, Maria
No.
Rambeau.
Let me give you this. To those characters, was that any better than having Chadwick Boseman, having Killmonger, Ultron again? What are some other big ones who were actually in it?
I think so in a way, just because they were in the current canon universe. This animation show, it was animated, and it wasn't really confirmed that it was canon. And What If kind of felt separate just because it is animated. But now that you have all these actors coming in and playing these roles in a live action movie, and they're with Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, and it felt canon to the actual storyline. But yeah, I love the movie. And bring John Krasinski back as as Mr. Fantastic. I would have to pick Multiverse of Madness.
Ooh, okay. Darkness, what do you have?
Boy. I don't really have What If that high on my list. Like, I'm pretty sure I had it on maybe 4 or 5. Oh no, maybe even 6. Like it's on my lower end for the Disney Plus like ranking.
Mm-hmm.
And
I put
it's
it at
kind
the
of
bottom
confusing.
for my Disney Plus.
Yeah, and it's we all know how I feel about Multiverse of Madness, but I think for the sake of what I had expected out of each of these, at the end of the day, I think I got to give the edge to Multiverse of Madness. Although I did like what it did. You know how I feel about how they did my boy Thanos dirty. You don't disrespect Poppy like that, okay? And then on top of that, like I said off camera, what I had expected and what Kevin Feige had said about this show made it sound like they were just changing one little thing in each of the movies that came in the MCU, and that's how it led to a new path. Versus, and we had that phenomenal Doctor Strange episode trying to break the absolute point, but like the Party Thor episode and the one with Hank Pym becoming Yellow Jacket, like portions of like that Yellow Jacket is somebody who would have went off in our MCU, you know what I'm saying? But those are like inconsequential according to what we've seen in the MCU. So it's like it kind of negated and did some of the things that were really set up to be like these monumental like moments in the MCU, and just be like, oh, in this universe that meant nothing.
It's interesting though, because the concepts of these shows are like there's an endless possibility of anything can happen, and then in Doctor Strange we kind of get teases of that, of anything really could happen because the multiverse is so big and so vast, and there are a lot of consequences that come to meddling with that. Me personally, I take What If over Multiverse of Madness, which does not help this video. Aren't we split? Or wait, Fabian, what'd you pick?
I picked What If, which
I know.
If I'm being honest, it's a hard choice. And for me, like number 4 for What If, like being ranked number 4, that is not accurate to me, like at all.
No.
Like I put it down like probably closer to Multiverse of Madness and where that number is. So it's a very close decision. It's just a matter of like what my preference is for what ends up happening throughout the story and the finale. Like that's a Ultron and Vision's body with all the Infinity Stones fighting a multiversal Avengers, essentially. Like you're giving me a good level of fan service there. And a lot of the singular episodes that didn't really tie back were still decent.
Yeah, but you got to think about that Ultron, bro. Like, I think they jumped in terms of scale way too quick, which is why Multiverse of Madness to me gets a little bit of an edge. Like, for me, seeing that this was only season 1 and they got to Infinity Ultron, this guy was literally wrecking realities across the entire multiverse. Where do you go from that? Who's going to trump that guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he would have showed up, if he shows up, right, and I think that's fine too. But for me personally, there's a certain time and place for you to introduce a character like that. Like if Infinity War Thanos would have pulled up right in the beginning in Avengers, I guarantee it wouldn't have gone down the way we got a chance to see it. You know, I think they pushed it too early.
Yeah, because now it's like, what on earth do they do for What If season 2?
Yeah,
they're not going to be able to top that.
Or even if you just talk about like canonized, right? If that's technically canon in the MCU, there is nothing in the MCU that can stop that guy. Nobody in the actual mainstream Avengers, Earth 616, they're not stopping that dude.
You don't think a full power Scarlet Witch could?
She would come close, but to be honest, I think Strange Supreme, old boy Demon Head over here, could take out Scarlet Witch. To be quite honest, I like, dude.
No,
that
he's
battle,
right. That is something that he definitely, like, you know how much magic he studied.
That dude literally, that dude just sucked the literal magical life force out of beings for thousands of years. There's no way. Dude, he literally swallowed an Infinity Stone attack. I don't remember if it was the Power Stone, but they shot him and he ate it, bro. He was like,
Ultron blew himself up, or blew up the world, and he reversed it without a time stone.
Yes.
So
And
that's why I'm saying Scarlet can't hang. That's my baby, but she can't hang.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Where are we standing? Who's gonna lean the other direction? Like,
But I think you even said it right there, though. No, I think you said it right there. Like, that's a cool, like, that's something we're never gonna get in the main 616. I mean, maybe eventually if they move some stuff over, but all the stories that were told, like beginning to end, What If told us stories within a story and then wrapped up a story and left that story open-ended for future iterations of it. Not only with Ultron, but with Killmonger's version. Then you have Strange. Like, where'd all these characters go? We didn't even talk about the Apocalypse Black Widow, her story that she went through, all those types of things. Like, they had really cool callbacks to a lot of stuff. There was not one thing in What If that I really did not like, but I had issues with Multiverse of Madness. Issues. Again, we're comparing an animated show to a movie. For me, my enjoyment, I enjoyed What If way more than I enjoyed Doctor Strange. I had to learn to love anything about Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
but
you did.
I
You
did.
had like a couples therapy over there, bro.
100%. I was like, you know what? You took my Illuminati from me. Like, how'd you make that feel? I was like, I was angry. Like, I was mad walking out of that. I didn't want to hear anything from anyone. They're like, did you like it? No. Because I hated what they did with the Illuminati so much. But on a rewatch, I eventually calmed down. But What If was here for me and stayed. I just put it at the bottom, kind of like I treat Groot in the holiday special. Like, it's separate. But from A to A or A to B, What If did it? I don't have any way to sway that. I don't know what we do here.
Man, you
So,
guys got
I
me on
have-
Multiverse of Madness. Go ahead.
There's two pieces of paper in here. One has Multiverse of Madness, and one has What If. I have shaken it.
Should we text
So-
Isaac? Yell at him?
Yeah. I'll text him.
No. Pick. You can pick
I'll
it up.
ask
if you
him
want.
what's
Pick
better.
paper. Just say, text them and just say what if or MOM. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
But pull the paper and we're gonna see if the watcher is actually one of the viewers right
We
now.
didn't even talk about the Watcher.
All right.
That man's goated. I'll tell you that. The watcher, woo,
Watcher or Wong?
boy, get your Wong out of here. Or with your
So
Wong verse.
Are we doing the paper?
Yeah, on camera. No, hold it in camera.
That's Multiverse of Madness.
No, that's.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I guess. Flip it upside
know.
down. That's a W. I see a W.
I don't know why I'm hyped for it. I don't know why I'm hyped for that. But
All right. Well, gentlemen, we have 3 matches left, and I think this next one can save us some time.
yeah, it will.
For the record, on the last one, I liked Multiverse of Madness coming out of the theater. So, if that meant anything.
Yeah, no.
Now you switch sides.
Now that they won, you want to switch sides. I remember that one, bro. I'm gonna remember that.
All right.
My boy
So,
sounded
all right.
like Scoops over here.
Dude, that's a whole separate conversation. I don't know if I'm for it or against it anymore, but all right, Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi. This is a blowout.
It's a wrap.
Are we just giving straight answers?
I'm just gonna real quick say what Miss Marvel's strength was. Shang-Chi did better still. The story that was told from a cultural standpoint with Kamala, the connectivity, what it looks like, backstory, finding herself, all of those kinds of things. Like, yeah, there's maybe some fan service and stuff in there, but Shang-Chi was just every part of that was fantastic. And from an action standpoint alone,
Oof.
a
Way better.
villain.
Yeah.
Let me type Shang-Chi and Multiverse. I'll let you guys talk.
Yeah, Shang-Chi, definitely.
Same.
Yeah, Shang-Chi, definitely. I mean, I'll be happy to see these two on screen together at some point. I think
Yeah.
they have good chemistry.
Oh, they will.
Miss Marvel
They will.
has a lot of leveling up to do. Shang-Chi was
Yeah.
already like at that level and still got an upgrade. I don't know. No hate to Miss Marvel for me personally, but Shang-Chi is just a clear wide. The gap's too wide for
Yeah.
me.
Mhm.
I need to see where those rings are from. They left that wide open. You remember
Bro, they're from the 31st century.
So those rings, are they connected to King? Are y'all thinking it's from King or what?
So the rings and the bangle that Miss Marvel has, ironically, are supposedly connected to Kang, because there's something in the Ant-Man trailer that has very similar inscriptions on it from where he is, wherever he is in that trailer.
Interesting.
The one thing I do want to see though is I want those 10 rings to have separate powers in and of themselves, like in the comics, how each ring had a different ability. If they can dive into that moving forward, oof, dude, that man is
Goated.
goated, probably top maybe one strongest person, definitely strongest artifact in the MCU.
That's why I think he's gonna lose it.
Nah,
He doesn't need him.
That's honestly, I think that's kind of what it is. I think it's very similar to Spider-Man, where he's gonna be like, I don't need these. They either are used to wipe out King somehow. King gets them, uses them, they're broken, something along those lines. But I think I don't think he's always gonna have the 10 rings. He's either gonna give them up because he doesn't want them, or he's gonna like go back to his roots and work on just beating people's faces in bare hands.
And they'll do the thing where he is using them as a crutch and he needs to get back to basics.
Yeah, something like that.
You think he'll maybe hand them down to someone, maybe a sister?
ooh,
I don't know if I want her to have them.
no.
I get weird vibes from her. I think there's something else going on in the background.
Or maybe
Bro,
she'll take them.
If she got him, then she's pulling a Namor, and she's gonna drown the surface world, bro.
Dude, I hope she's in whatever, like whenever there's a crossover with Shang-Chi and he's showing up somewhere, I hope she's there too.
Yeah.
Because I really liked her.
Yeah.
She
But I get
shoulda
what
got a
what
Disney
you're saying.
Plus. She
Yes.
should have got a Disney Plus show. That is what I'm talking about. Quality, baby.
Isn't she
Not
supposed to?
Not Agatha.
Yeah, not Agatha. Yeah.
Someone needs to explain that. We need an Agatha. Someone needs to explain it. But I mean, imagine what's her name?
Xiling.
Xiling, yeah, something like that. Like if she gets that and she tries to take over Talo or something, like I feel like there could be a story told. Maybe.
Yo, what if she gets the rings and she goes sets up shop on the hand of Tiamat? She's just chilling there.
Actually be kind of cool.
Like that's her throne.
Well, yes. And okay. We're gonna move to the next one real quick. You guys cool with Shang-Chi?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Okay. All right. The next one we got.
It's so hard.
It should be.
Both of them have, for me, they fell so flat for me. For me, anyway.
Well, you can't.
one-
One of them have to win.
The one that fell flat for me was WandaVision.
Ooh.
What?
The ending. Like all the way up until those last 2 episodes, I was on board. And then those last 2 came out and I was just like, no.
You got no
Um,
love for White Vashon, bro. Come on, man.
I
The
don't
coldest character in
until
the MCU.
until we get the rest of his story and his 3-hour movie solo outing. No, me personally, I got more enjoyment out of Love and Thunder.
Greg, let's
Yeah.
do this, man. Come
I'm
on.
talking pure joy, like literal joy. I was laughing.
We'll start with enjoyment. Love and Thunder is, well, at least I don't know if we might be on the same team on this one, but I think
No, overall.
the enemy of my
overall.
enemy is my friend. I was more intrigued after WandaVision was probably the only Disney Plus show for me where I would get done watching this and bro, I would call Elias or he would call me and like, dude, we have to talk about like what happened, blah 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 blah. Like, and there was no formality of like this is just what we do. Like it was genuine theory crafting after every single episode. Like, who's the guy in the bee mask? Why is it black and white? What does this look like? What is her story going to be? That it was enjoyable to put on that like detective cap and try to solve the mystery that was WandaVision. Love and Thunder, I was just chilling and laughing. One of the only people in the theater laughing, and I was like, maybe it's too loud. But
Well, you weren't one of the only. Don't lie.
For
Dude.
Love and Thunder?
Bro, how is this one of the funniest, quote unquote, in terms of comedic deliveries?
We have weird
Only
theater.
people
We have
laugh.
weird theaters out here. It's not the same as up there.
You're out here in North Carolina.
Right?
Hey, come to the A-Town and let me show you how it is. I'll tell you this, and I actually agree with everything you say, because bro, we were hyping when it came to WandaVision. WandaVision is the creator of Forging Theories. That's where that
Pretty
started.
much.
Yeah, and that being said, you know, some episodes, the first episodes, I was like, damn, what am I watching, bro? What's going on? There was just so much question. So the enjoyment wasn't really there until you start to get all the answers. Thor: Love and Thunder, I know it's not a great movie. I know the script and blah blah, and it you know, it does the same old action Marvel formula with the villain or whatever, but I had a great time with it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was adventurous, and it was just what Corey said. It was a classic Thor adventure, and I couldn't have asked for more. I'm still giving the edge to WandaVision though, 100%.
We're gonna be split again, aren't we?
Well, hang on now. Let's talk real quick then about. I usually default to this, but I think the edge or the conversation is, did you like Agatha? I think that's a big piece. If you didn't like Agatha, then I feel like you probably didn't like WandaVision.
I loved Agatha. Not enough for her to get her own show, but I think she played a good puppeteer. She was puppeteering everything in that show. And then once you see that one episode, I don't know if it was like maybe 6, where she Agatha's like, I need to know how you did this. The power that you're using right now is immense. I need to know how you did this. And then she takes her through like her history, and like we get a chance to see all that. Dude, that's one of the most phenomenal episodes and scripts we've gotten in the MCU, I think, personally.
Did you guys think Vision was real?
No.
Or fake? Thought he was fake the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, he had
There
he had
was
a
no
stone
way.
ripped out of his head.
That's
I
fair.
mean, how? I mean, unless Wanda created a live machine that could make a live human being, let alone Vision, who had memories of her. I mean, I know she's Scarlet Witch, but I mean, her powers have boundaries. So,
Fabian, you're awfully quiet.
For all those theories and all the stuff that, you know, oh, what does this mean? Why is it in black and white? Or why was there what was that animal that just walked through out of nowhere, the flamingo or something? The real random stuff that they were showing, like all these things the internet was going crazy.
Facts.
And it all went nowhere.
I will give you, this is where I say it doesn't age well. This is a very much a part of why I say it doesn't age well. To run those things back, it is a tougher watch. Especially once you know the secret's out.
I don't know if that's a fault. That's not a fault of WandaVision though. And I think, okay.
Well, I think the show
you know how I feel
that way though.
But you know how I feel about Vision. So I don't personally care for whatever that guy's doing. That guy could be flipping burgers, bro. Okay, and I'll be like, okay, that's
I
fine.
want a burger.
But
I had
Monica is, I don't know if you technically consider a mutant because her DNA literally got altered. If that's not mutation, I don't know what is. She's about to come through clutch. She's like a legitimate deterrent to Captain Marvel, one of the strongest top 5 characters in the MCU. She's in there now. You have Wanda, who literally read the Darkhold and ended up going. My biggest thing with WandaVision was how at the end of it she says to her kids, thank you for choosing me to be your mom. Then Multiverse of Madness, it literally flips, and she's like, "No, I choose you to be my kids."
Yeah.
It's like that's where the script messes up.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a fault of WandaVision. I think that's, they did something over here, and they're like, "No, we want to go in this direction instead." So for me, I can't blame the aging of it on what came after, only what came before, and nothing came before. That's how I feel.
I mean, besides Hawkeye, I feel like nothing else really leaves you really want. I think Hawkeye did more. This probably did the least to set up the future because we had resolution with Scarlet Witch already before anything else even had a second appearance. So like, we don't know what happened with Vision. No one cares for Agatha. Scarlet Witch is on a pile of rubble. God knows when she's going to show up again, if she even does. And then on top of that, like, there were no references from Darcy, which kind of bothered me. I get the reason why she was there with Jane, but like, man, the craziest thing happened. I was stuck in this place with all this, like, yeah, okay, not a big deal. I don't care. Like, that's separate, but I guess it's kind of off topic. I don't know what Love and Thunder did to put it over the top. I can only point at WandaVision didn't do things, but I don't know if there's anything Love and Thunder did, especially from a gore standpoint. No. I dislike that so much. I did not like. I love him as a villain. I think he's one of the better villains, but I still put him in the category of not a good MCU villain. Sorry, fellas.
I texted Isaac, by the way.
I'm just going with my gut here, and the fact that I know I didn't really care that much for WandaVision. Like, it just like doesn't hold up, like we were saying. It just the way that everything was just kind of like, obviously it was playing homage to a lot of older the generations of television, and that's all fun and good, but like the way they did the Quicksilver thing with like him getting recasted as what we knew to be the Fox version of Quicksilver, and he just wasn't at all. There was like a literal middle finger to anyone that had a single ounce of like theory that they finally were going to use the X-Men license from Fox.
It could have been Mephisto, though, right? You didn't love all the Mephisto theories from this?
Oh my god!
I do not miss them. Those are the dark days of the dark days of New Rockstars.
So when that ended, or when it was close to the last two episodes, like I thought I was okay with it, and those last two episodes just like fell flat for me. I did not feel satisfied. I'm not saying I gave into like those theories, like the Mephisto thing. Just because the Mephisto thing didn't happen doesn't mean I was like, oh well, this is trash. I was told by the internet that Mephisto was going to be here.
Plenty of people felt that way, which is wild.
That is not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that in general, with what was done in the finale, like White Vision just being like, all right, deuces.
Yeah.
Wanda just kind of getting the plot armor of just winning, like randomly, like getting more attuned to her magic. I don't know. It just didn't do enough for me, and then it didn't develop enough in Multiverse of Madness later. So.
Fair.
So I think I
don't disagree with this.
It's more like what WandaVision didn't do for me, like you were saying, versus what Love and Thunder did for me. Like, Love and Thunder was just a fun trip. I laughed. It was basically just Ragnarok 2. I don't know where like people are saying like you guys liked Ragnarok. Everybody loved Ragnarok. You're gonna get more of that because you loved it. You made it successful. You voiced your opinion that this was good. They cranked it up to 100. That's what Love and Thunder was, and that's why I liked it.
Valid. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I have a hard time saying anything against that because I still feel the same way. I feel very similarly. I just think for me, WandaVision just kind of made me think a little bit more, which I prefer. So it really comes down to a preference thing. I just in the moment, first run, I enjoyed. This is the enjoyment thing. Enjoyment is my X factor between these two. I enjoyed WandaVision. That's my vote.
Yeah. Either way, these are not like my top tier Marvel projects. Like these are not. They're not up there for me. I'm just saying, like the one that I'm leaning towards is Love and Thunder.
All right, Harry, bust a pen out.
Wait, so you're loving Thunder as well? I thought you didn't like that movie.
I thought you picked Love and Thunder.
Well, after hearing you guys, I'm really trying to think of the whole story of both movies, or the movie and the Disney Plus TV show.
Wait. One last thing. Who had the better love story?
Bro, WandaVision all day. All day.
For the kids or for Vision?
Bro, for everything. For everything. Like, Vision and the kids. Vision was the first part of it. Then the kids, she knocked herself up, kind of, like, whatever. But, like, dude, that whole story, everything, like, bro, we literally got what is grief if not love persevering. That's the coldest love story you can have right there.
Okay, hang on. I will pick WandaVision for one reason. I'm excited to see where they take Vision next, because that's a big question mark.
Thank you for joining me on the island of one.
Excited, and then you brought it back.
A win is a win. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that Vision Quest part of it, but a win is a win.
Hey, listen, fun parallels though. You found a lost love. You gained some children from it, or a child. Like, it's very interesting that there's actually a parallel between these two.
Yeah, I mean, that line from the show just pretty much sums up the whole idea of why she created that false reality. It's just that she loved so much in her grief that she couldn't let go of the love. She persisted.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Hey, it's just my preference. It's okay.
Well, it's the worst. I'm just kidding.
I'll get your guys' addresses. So.
I'm gonna cancel that package that I shipped to you, so you can't get it. All right.
No return label on that.
We're on our final match of the first round in decent time. Werewolf by Night number 6 versus number 11, Black Widow.
It's a wrap.
This is not a blowout, in my opinion.
What?
Nope.
I mean, yeah, I think so as well.
No
I
way.
don't think this is a blowout. This is not a Miss Marvel Shang-Chi in my mind.
Wait, can you pull up real quick when you have a chance? Pull up the screenshot of the tier list that we made a couple weeks ago. If you want to just go ahead and show that real quick for the audience and talk about blowout.
No, I do. I think the gap of these, because Werewolf by Night did not it delivered, but it did not do what like a Spider-Man did, or what Wakanda Forever did. Like, it delivered in the time that it had, and based on being a special presentation, I think it excelled. But when you start talking about this in comparison, like, this is weird. Like, we thought it was weird to compare Disney Plus shows to movies. We're getting a special presentation. We're getting 45 minutes compared to an hour 45. Like, we're getting double. Was the story that was told? I'm looking at it from purely a story perspective first. If you say Black Widow had a better story, or didn't, is it that far off? What story do we get in Werewolf by Night? We get moments, but I think this is one of the more difficult ones, personally. I could be way off. I don't know.
Story-wise, I think Black Widow is better. I enjoyed the story better.
Oh, you got your supporting character of the year.
Yeah, supporting character. That's because you had the time to do that. I think whether it was for better or for worse, Werewolf by Night delivered a phenomenal story, in my opinion, in 45 minutes, bro. That's 2 episodes, maybe one. That's 1 episode of like regular television. 1 episode of Game of Thrones is longer than that. And they were able to introduce brand new characters, a brand new concept, legitimate, consequences and implications for those characters, and plant the seeds for them to show up next time. Black Widow was a send-off, right? She gave her sacrifice to save the universe in Endgame, right? Yeah, Endgame. And then, we hear Kevin Feige and a bunch of people say, oh, she didn't get a funeral scene or a memorial because we're going to get that in Black Widow. You get Yelena crying at her grave, and then Val says, I need you to take out the guy who killed her for like a brief second. Like, personally, was it a redemption arc for Black Widow from all of the red on her ledger? I didn't really see it that way.
But did it need to be that?
That's what she said. When she left the Avengers in between that time, she says, I have red on my ledger and I need to do right. She literally tells it to like Yelena or whatever. Like when she came back, she's like, I need to do right by all of the things that I've done wrong. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly like the verbiage or the dialogue that she said, but she basically says that her journey in this movie is to make up for everything that she's ever done wrong. Dreykov's daughter, she's like, that was one of the worst things I've ever done. I gotta repent for it. So
Yeah,
whether
but
it needed to be or not, that's what she said.
I think
That was the artist telling me what I needed to see.
I think she almost was like, hey, I'm going to repay by saving the world in the Avengers perspective rather than, going to kill this guy as as a way of, repaying her debt, if you will. In that perspective. If that makes sense. Because if that makes sense.
Okay. Fabian.
I don't know, man. I don't have any hate really towards the Black Widow movie. I think it just always comes back, like, because it's a decent flick. But for me, it always just comes back to this outside factor of too little, too late. She already dead. We know she's dead. Like, if this had come out and she had her own little adventure before Endgame, and this is a Phase 3 movie, this is pretty much a Phase 3 movie. If she had all this, and it would have made her moment sacrificing herself all the more memorable. And for future people that have not gotten into the MCU, you show them this movie before you show them Endgame, you're probably going to have, it's probably going to be a better experience for them, to be honest with you. But
just don't show them the post-credit scene.
Yeah, you got to cut. Now, what about the post-credit? No, don't even worry about it. It doesn't even matter. Otherwise, I feel like this movie didn't even need to exist. Like, unless you did it in Phase 3. Unless you did it appropriately when you were supposed to, this didn't need to exist. And I'm sorry if that's harsh, but it didn't need to be in this lineup. You could have filled it in with something more. Like, we got a wide variety of things that a lot of people argue about on whether it's good or not. In Phase 4, there were other characters that probably deserve that slot rather than something that was kind of just a leftover. So that's why I like personally, that's how I see this Black Widow movie. And I'm sorry if the outside factors aren't really something, like, if you guys don't think that's valid, I understand. But that's why I would put Werewolf by Night over automatically. Because not only does it exceed at what it was trying to do as a small project on its own, no real connections to the rest of the MCU besides like the opening like crawl of whatever they were doing there, showing the Avengers. It exceeded in what its project was supposed to do, whereas even with Black Widow's existence, it just did its job, and that's it. So one's going above and beyond in a short runtime, and the other one's just kind of meh in what it was trying to do.
I like that. I think you guys have valid points. Me, I still put Werewolf by Night over, but I think you nailed it right there. One took what it was supposed to be and brought it down. One introduced and elevated. And those, when I was thinking of this before, those are the X factors for me. What did it do? I mean, if we're going to talk about cinematography and how the presentation, the delivery, the story that was told, side characters. I mean, we've went over this before, but the one thing that I will say is when I watched Black Widow, I didn't watch Black Widow as a Phase 4 movie, though. It didn't feel like it fits in Phase 4. And to be honest with you, I sometimes forget it actually is in Phase 4. I really do. I don't know where I would think it actually is when I really
the
think about it.
delays and the pandemic didn't help either.
No.
Like, we got the opportunity to just watch this from home. Like, we didn't have to go to the theater.
Would that have changed anything for you if you got to see this in theater?
Well, you could have.
I did.
Anyone could have.
Oh, you guys saw it first in theater?
I saw it
in
at home.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I'm just
that's what I
saying
mean.
in
That's
general,
first
like,
watch. First watch. My fault.
People could have gone to go see the movie in theaters. They had that option.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy steady on that premiere, boy.
Theater of
I
two.
didn't have 20 tickets. I only had 2.
I have kids, so any opportunity I could get to just watch something at home, like that whole thing, that era where they were saying like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna just start streaming the movies at home and in theater." I was like, "Yes, no babysitters. Don't gotta worry about it. I can just pop it on after they go to bed and have a good time." But no, I got a pretty decent like setup for movies, so I don't ever feel like if I watched one of these movies at home, I don't have
It made a difference.
I don't feel like I missed out on the theater experience other than like going to like Dolby. Dolby is like the way I go see movies, like the Dolby sound, because like the music is like kind of what puts some movies over for me. So when you go see a movie in Dolby, like the sound quality is incredible.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend you guys go see some of your favorite movies in Dolby whenever you get the chance.
I treat Black Widow to rap, for my opinion. And I just rewatched this movie last Friday night. It feels the same as Hawkeye did. I thought that this was overall like a good movie, but it went like this for me. As the movie went on, I got lost. And then once Taskmaster hit, I was out. I was like, come on. Like, I was so excited for Taskmaster. I'm not saying anything because it's a female character, whatever it is, but I didn't like the tech aspect. I wish we would have gotten a more comic accurate Taskmaster. And this is still when I'm in my phase of villain and antagonist means more than anything to me. And I was very disappointed in that. But I didn't really care for Red Guardian. I didn't care for a lot. Like the Red Room, I thought was a little like, what if? You know, it was just not great. But Werewolf by Night, I have no complaints.
That's the funny part for me. I actually like Red Guardian, and I didn't mind Taskmaster.
No,
I liked that it tied back to her original sin. So the fact that that it was not the fact that we didn't get an accurate Taskmaster, but the technology or whatever, but just who it was, and the fact that she's been fighting her old ghost.
Sure.
It's something that she thought she did wrong her entire life. Not entire life, but since she did that. I like that little addition to that character. I feel like it added more meaning, more depth to the Taskmaster name. I know that's super unpopular, but
let me hear about this Red Guardian now.
You don't like Red Guardian? I just like David Harbour. I like his I like his personality. I don't know.
What did he do though?
He didn't have to do anything for me. I was just like,
he had a dope opening though.
He was funny.
His what in 1995 or whenever it was in Ohio, like when he first came on, I was ooh, he's gonna be like I don't know, like they set the bar very high in my opinion. And going into this, we had a high Red Guardian bar anyways.
This was before I saw Stranger Things too. Like I didn't have that Stranger Things like hype for that actor at all. I thought he had a good personality on the screen. Sure, I would have liked him to be like at least somewhat on par with the combat of Captain America, but I think that was kind of the shtick of like he just wasn't. He's not up to par with Captain America because I mean they didn't have the stuff that Captain America did. Yeah. So
is Red Guardian a super soldier?
Yes,
I thought he was.
Yeah, right. He got some form of serum. The whole movie, he keeps talking about Natasha. Do you tell any stories about Captain America? Like he was trying to make that comparison, bro. And I was like, Bro can't even fit in his suit, and he's getting handed to him by a girl with a chip in her neck. I had to put a chip in her neck. Like, I'm like, bro, this dude should be punching holes in people. Like, for real.
He was out of shape. He let himself go a little bit. He doesn't have Cap's exact formula that gives him that metabolism where he can eat like 15 cheeseburgers in one go. Like,
Hey, Thor let himself go, and he pulled up to the scene.
Bro, that's different.
hey, in Infinity War, he took on the full force of all the stones and threw his axe at it.
Yeah,
In Endgame, he had 2 godly weapons, and he barely was helpful.
Ask the Russo brothers why that hammer went through, and it's because Thanos didn't know how to use all the stones yet, and that's canon to me, baby. He caught him off guard.
Wait, hold up. So now you care about what the director said?
Oh yeah, when it works for me, yeah. That's how this relationship works, bro.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, where's my mouse? I'm lost here. You guys got me lost in this Black Widow stuff. So is it safe to say we're choosing Werewolf by Night?
That's not even safe to say. That's a wrap, bro. The phone is out.
Here, you're like 0 for 4 tonight.
Werewolf. Yeah, I took an L.
Yeah,
Well,
the more
I get benefits of going last sometimes. You know, I just kind of just jump on one.
the more you guys remind me of what the movie was, because I had forgotten some things about the Black Widow movie. But the more you guys remind me of the Black Widow movie, I would have to go Werewolf by Night as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to run this video back in ×5 so I can see if I lost tonight.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, hey, our grand champion.
He said, "Oh, thanks."
I love it.
I think
All
I
right.
only voted against one of these. No, 2 of them. What If and Love and Thunder.
This is our one that's Multiverse of Madness. What If, I think, is actually, I never thought of it this way until we started talking about it, of how similar-ish they actually kind of could be. But round
could
2
have been.
yes. Round 2 is wild though.
Round 2 is about to go off, baby.
No Way Home versus Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
That's got to be
Yeah.
last.
Yeah, we'll do the one last. Shang-Chi versus
Let's
Multiverse
do it
of
right
Madness.
now.
I mean, if you guys have time, that's up to you.
I
Bro,
don't
that
think- I
one
don't think
alone
all
is
of us
about
do.
2 hours.
Okay. Guys, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it.
Yeah,
I can
we're
talk
gonna
about it
save
right
it.
now. We're saving it. Lock it in. I'm sorry. Fabian, are you okay with that?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Werewolf by Night versus WandaVision, Loki versus Moon Knight, Shang-Chi versus Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home versus Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So, next week, we are going to be finishing the tournament, and we are going to get ourselves a champion. Winner goes on to take on Black Adam for the most superior movie of all time.
Bruh.
Sorry, I had to throw a little bit in there.
Because the hierarchy of power is changing.
Yeah. Should we do a cameo tournament or a post-credit scene tournament?
Oh my dude, I was thinking about
The
that.
whole MCU? It's
Let's
gotta be
run
the
it.
whole MCU. 'Cause
Let's run it, bro.
You heard it here
Um,
first.
You know how many slots Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is going to take?
Okay, bro, those are trash. Okay, don't even get me started on, bro. Seeing the Grandmaster do the Dougie is not a post-credit scene, bro. Come on.
Legitimate post-credit scene. And by the way, the scene, the post-credit scene where the Winter Soldier or Bucky, his arm is clamped down in like the machine, and Steve is, yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. That
know what it
that
is.
wins.
No,
Fine, I'll do it myself.
you gotta relax.
One of
I
my
don't-
all-time.
I don't like after credit scenes that are an actual scene from another movie, like from whatever movie's coming out. If that's what they do for an after credit scene, I feel like it's barely an after credit scene. Same thing with like
Wait,
when they attach a
what was-
trailer.
Oh yeah. Was it the trailer for Multiverse of Madness? Which one is that?
They did a trailer for Avengers at the end of Captain America, the first Avenger, and then they did a trailer for Multiverse of Madness at the end of No Way Home.
There was no way home, dude. You talk about Dolby. The theater was rocking the whole time, and then they put that on, and it was the flattest sound. It was worse than the Morbius trailer every time it got played.
Boy.
Like the sound was so flat, and it was just non-existent. It looked so bad in our theater that like everyone was kind of like, "What is going on?" Like people were like getting up to leave, but then they kind of like sat back down. Like, is this an accident? Like, is this an error? That was funny. I forgot about that. Dang.
You know, I didn't forget about the worst post-credit scene.
Hot dog stand?
It's over.
Dude.
That one's like right there next to the Cap at the end of the credits, or like
Yeah, but
Deadpool like saying you could go at the end of the
I got a pop.
his movie.
I got a pop out of that one. Okay, I got Cap sitting in the chair over here like a troll. I didn't get no pop out of this guy saying, "Oh my God, it's over."
It's just because it was a Sam Raimi movie. That's all. That's his homie. I don't know what you want from Sam Raimi.
Well, you know what should have happened? My homie Kang should have taken that guy out. So here, let me put you out your misery. Now we're talking, boy.
Bro, what Bruce Campbell, man. Would you guys like if Kang went fourth wall break and he's like,
"No,
we're supposed to get this whole release, like Ant-Man's about to start," and he's like, "No, you're not getting this movie. What you're actually getting is Kang Dynasty." Bam.
We don't need Kang going all She-Hulk.
Not that character.
You know what would be decent though? If Kang said, "I let She-Hulk think that she rewrote that script." That would be crazy.
It's after her. It's after the He Who Remains doesn't know what's going on in the future, so it's part of it. Otherwise, he would have stopped it. All you fans out there. Well, we finally hit the 2-hour marker. Solid first round. I'm not gonna lie, I like having these conversations with you guys because it did make me realize I know comparisons are sometimes like faux pas and people hate them, but it was interesting to put Phase 4 together and kind of keep it all in the same room, and there's some parallels that I just didn't realize. I think that's kind of the biggest thing I took away from this. It's pretty cool. I don't know. All right, fellas, leave me with one thing. Are there multiple Kings in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Are there more than one King variants that will appear? Post-credit scene included. No, not post-credit scene. That's an easy one. Regular movie. 2 or more, yes or no?
And just Quantumania?
Just
or in general?
Just Quantumania. You know we're getting more.
Bro, you start us off. I want to know how many Kangs you got.
I initially said from early trailer 2.
Okay, now where you at 6?
Divide by 2, carry the 1. I'm still at 2 with the outside chance of 3, including post-credit scene.
I want to say 2. I don't think they're going to give us like a whole army of Kangs. That's unrealistic.
We have a big egghead villain floating around there who no one has talked about, and Kang is not going to be the focal point of this movie. He's going to be very important, but the King Prime is not going. There's no way they throw that all out there.
Wait, so you mean to tell me the Kang that we're seeing in this movie is not Kang Prime?
I think we will see King Prime, but I think the little swerve here is that it's a different King that we're going to get who may not make it out of the movie, or something is going to happen. But King Prime, we're going to get introduced. I think the main King that we're going to see here is not the big bad for the Avengers movies, but he's going to be included.
I think I said something like that on the last live I was on. I agree with that.
Maybe I stole your theory. I don't know.
Yeah. That's some
I
form
feel
of
like
futurism.
we might get a flashback of him explaining the Kang multiverse of war, and we will get more Kangs than we have to bargain with. Just in a quick scene, though. Like, we're not going to have, like, multiples, like, in the movie, like, taking the spotlight from each other. But it'll just be a flashback of, like, maybe showing, like, how there were multiple Kings at some point. So, calm, cool 100.
Calm, Cool 100, bro? What's happening right now? What is happening?
Bro, we already saw in the trailer we got at least 2 Ant-Mans. I don't know what we say there, but
Ant-Man.
guys
I
just
don't know. Is that 2 Ant-Man or Ant-Mans or Ant-Mans? That's just like, I think they're just displaced in time. Like that's the thing with variants. They got to be from a whole new universe if you want me to consider them a variant.
dude, the variant conversation is a very interesting conversation that it's very muddy, but I like reading about it. It's an interesting one.
So
I'm gonna
is
give you a maximum of 2. What were you saying?
no. As far as the variant argument, like, is Loki from Loki a variant or no? Because
Yes,
he was displaced from time.
he was. If he makes it back into, let's say he finishes whatever happens in season 2, and then he just shows up back into Earth 616 current timeline, no longer a variant, in my opinion. Like a variant.
Well, why
to
would
me
it? But
is-
would it be? Because the one that they had is dead.
Yeah. Loki,
Then
our Loki's dead.
He should have stayed dead.
But he is dead.
Well, he's right there. He's dead, and
What?
he's in love with a female version of himself. Okay, and this isn't even Game of Thrones, HBO Max style. Okay, a variant is the entire Illuminati. Those are variants, in my opinion. That's a true variant. Loki's just like a side variant.
I don't know,
what I'm saying?
man. I think any you can be classified as a variant if you have a predetermined path. Like that Loki 2014's path was to die at the hands of Thanos on that ship. Anything that deviates off of that path that does not happen exactly like it did is a variant. There's a variation of you. You have new experiences. You are different from that exact one.
Yeah,
So
like
what-
I said,
What's the difference between variant Loki and President Loki?
Different
He was in-
experiences.
here's another. That was a universe where he had a different experience.
Right. So they just get the same title, variant. That
Yeah.
simple word.
They're both variants. Yeah.
So
One's
to
a
put
true
it-
variant, one's a main. One's a main bay, one's a side bay.
So you could be a variant could be anything like simple. Like you could be like, say today I decided to either watch, like there's a universe where I decided to watch X-Men today, and then in another world I started to watch Naruto. Like that, they could be that simple of a change. That would lead us
Exactly.
into completely different paths.
Right.
And that's why
And you
you'd
said
get
world.
pruned.
You said world,
No,
You said
but this
not
is
timeline.
But
But
in
this
that
is where it goes.
timeline, him leaving it is what created a new world. That timeline is no longer its own physical, like, normal place. Like it's no longer the 2012 Avengers movie because it didn't happen how it was supposed to.
For him it didn't.
Yeah.
For everybody else, it did. Right. So if you put
Not
him,
if he's gone. That world is messed up now because
Mhm.
they don't have their Loki.
right, I know, but nobody else, like no Thor, everything that's happened in Earth 616, the main sacred timeline, none of them were affected by that. So
No.
you drop him back into that, I don't see how that's a variant.
well,
If you drop him into the 616 that isn't his world anymore at all, then he would be a variant. But if you dropped him back where they dropped the Tesseract right before he was supposed to, go on his Dark World adventure, then he wouldn't be a variant. They just fixed whatever, they erased his memory and stuck him right back where he needed to be.
Yeah, but you have that whole thing though.
So is Cap a variant for staying with old girl?
Touche.
That's always what he was supposed to do, though.
According to the TVA.
That he was on that timeline. That was his path.
No,
So then
no,
how-
no, 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 no.
He made
Yeah.
it back into the Endgame time though. He made it back afterward. He stayed with old girl back in the past, and then he gave the shield to the wrong person apparently in the present timeline. I was trying to see if you were paying attention there, Harry.
Yeah.
So 2014 Thanos that went to fight in Endgame, he's not a variant.
He is okay, and I'm saying that there's levels of variance. There's a tier list. We gotta make a tier list.
You're a variant 1. You're a variant 1. He's a variant 3.
Yeah,
You
dude.
have-
There's level of variance, bro. That's how I
You
feel
haven't
like.
created a new universe yet, so you're just a normal variant.
That's it.
You are from another universe, so you're an ultra variant. And then we're gonna be like Pokemon here, and we're gonna mega evolve. And you messed up a whole other universe, so you're a mega variant.
Exactly.
Yeah, like now that Thanos, 2014 Thanos is dead, his whole universe is affected, right? Where he came from originally. We don't know what that universe looks like now,
They're probably screwed because he was right. They should have gotten rid of half of life.
right? But
Every planet is just not thriving anymore. They're overpopulated. The resources are gone.
He ruined it.
but now we're not gonna see that though because he got dusted in Earth 616 Sacred Timeline. I feel like a variant affects on a multiversal level. That's how I see it.
So is Captain Carter not a variant?
Let me tell you this:
Because
if this
she's not
podcast,
she's not multiversal.
if this podcast was called the Jalapeno Theories, then that's a variant. That's a variant.
That's it.
Captain Carter, she's a variant for sure. What if is more variant than Loki? That's what I'll say. Bro, you mean to tell? I'm literally looking at a shelf full with variants. We don't got Frost Giant Loki. We don't got Infinity Ultron. We don't have the Hydra Stomper.
No,
What?
but those
you haven't
what-
bought them yet.
No, I'm looking at people I do have, bro.
But no, those are all possibilities of what those characters could have been if something was altered. If
In a
something
different
was
universe.
altered.
Yeah, but each universe has the same starting point, and then they branch off as one little thing changes.
Yes. Yes.
As the-
yes,
as the
yes,
ancient one
Yes.
explained.
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't. I thought it was the Watcher. I thought the Watcher said that.
He could have said that too. They said it at the beginning of the. It all started with the ancient one. She was the one that started explaining that if you remove the stone, you're starting to branch off away from the point of origin in each timeline, thus creating another unknown universe where events have not unfolded as they should have.
And what Infinity Stones were removed and everything? And what if? I don't remember seeing one of those.
That's just how she explained it at first.
Oh, okay. So old girl needs
No,
to get
they
her
goofed.
facts straight.
No, that was the issue though. They goofed because she did that whole thing, that stream with Hulk, and she's like, if you put it back, then it's fine. But that wasn't the case though in Multiverse Madness, Loki, everything moving forward, right? Then they kind of like negate that.
Well, that's why like the Endgame time travel, to me that makes sense. They went and they put the stones back so that those universes can continue back on their linear path.
But the stones would have been fine though, because they wouldn't have affected anything. At that point in time, they would have never been known to have been gone. But a person would still affect that because they've acquired new memories. So what they do moving forward will never be the same.
But a stone, a literal infinity stone, a cosmic portion of the MCU versus little old me getting dropped off 2 days earlier in a different timeline is going to completely change the course of events.
It could. Don't underplay your importance in the multiverse.
Butterfly effect, man. It's real.
It is the butterfly effect. It's like it's just a lot of different. Your choices mean something. Or like you ever have like that thing where like you got a red light, you missed, or you just barely couldn't get past the red light, but you think to yourself, well, if I'd gotten through that red light, maybe I avoided an accident. If it was green, maybe there was an accident ahead and I would have been a part of it. Like the whole thing of like things happen for a reason, like type of idea. Like what would have been done differently if you hadn't made that wrong turn. You know,
Boys.
if you weren't late, if you showed up early, you know, whatever.
This is why What If should have advanced and why WandaVision did advance right here. Just a mind-bending conversation right here. That's it. Well, we lost one, but
You about to lose me too. I'm about to fall asleep on the mic, bro.
no, this is good. So for anyone watching, we are still live here. This is what we do. We talk about all things related to heroes and villains in the MCU and DC if they're worthy enough. But next week, Sunday night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, we're finishing off the Marvel MCU Phase 4 tournament. You have to hear what we have to say about No Way Home versus Wakanda Forever, because I think that will be conversation of the year. I haven't heard too many people talk about that, but I've also tried not to listen to too many people talk about it because it gets me all sorts of heated. So appreciate you guys. Any final words besides no?
Loki's not a variant.
Well, we're going to the chat. We're going to the group chat.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just say this real quick. You cannot tell me that an alligator version of a person is equivalent to somebody just getting pulled out of a timeline.
Bro,
I'll just
don't
leave it at that.
underestimate the world of the paint. Paint world has some crazy stuff going on in there, okay? An alligator is a step up. We'll finish this conversation offline. And with
right.
that, everyone have a good night. We will see you in the next one.